Terenul de evacuare al civililor așadar a expirat în urmă cu 2 ore. Vin vești triste de la Ministerul Afacerilor Externe. În același timp, alți 2 cetățeni care au dublă cetățenie româno-israeliană au decedat în Israel. Un cetățean de asemenea este dispărut acolo. Am vorbit astăzi cu purtătorul de cuvânt al IDF, al forțelor de apărare israeliene. Ce urmează să facă armata israeliană? Aflăm așadar din acest interviu în exclusivitate cu majorul Arye Shaliar.
Well, first of all, I have to emphasize we are calling upon the population inside the Gaza Strip since 2 days already to go down south inside the Gaza Strip. I show you a little image. You see, this is the Gaza Strip. Mm-hmm. 2 roads leading from the north to the south, which we will not attack. People can now move, yesterday and today, to clear these areas where Hamas is having its headquarters in Gaza City. Gaza City is the central city. It's kind of the capital of the Gaza Strip, and it's located here. So we want to make sure that no civilians will be harmed in any future operation. So we ask them now to move down south.
Do you have any information about how many civilians left Gaza City, north?
Not north, but from the north, Gaza City is in the northern part, to move down south in the direction of Rafah, which is across the border to Egypt. That's the place, that's the safe place at this point. And, you know, we are not interested in any harm to children or to uninvolved, to civilian population. But Hamas uses them as human shields. We are aware of that. So we have made this extra effort the last 2 days in order to make sure that people understand now it's time to move.
So do you have information regarding the fact that Hamas terrorists are keeping also civilians in the north because they want to use them as shield against the ground operation?
Yes, well, first of all, Hamas, they have 3 kinds or 3 sorts of human shields. One is the population in the Gaza Strip themselves, like it's their families, it's their friends, it's their kids. They use them all as human shields. That's why they do everything in their power to make sure that they do not move south. The second sort of human shield is not human, but more civilian infrastructure, which is hospitals and mosques and schools. They built up their terror infrastructure in all these civilian buildings. And the third now human shield are the Israeli abducted, which is by now at least 120 people, amongst them many girls, one very old lady, and little children.
What happens after 4 p.m.?
Well, first of all, we are continuing to strike Hamas and Islamic Jihad wherever they are, wherever they hide. But we want to be as precise as possible. So after 4, we will see what the situation is regarding the civilian population, which areas they have moved, which they have left. We will know where we can easily attack in order to strike Hamas terror infrastructure. And the places where we still got civilian population which are not able to leave or by Hamas denied to leave, we will wait, we will see what will happen next in order to make sure that in all of the northern part of the Gaza Strip where we decide to attack, that no civilians will remain to be used by Hamas as human shields. I cannot go into operational activity or any future scenarios regarding our plans because, you know, the enemy is watching. I mean Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. So we have to be very careful what we release. You know, they have started this war exactly 1 week ago with the murderous invasion, their brutal murder of 1,300 people. terrorists who have infiltrated Israel. Some of them on the first day, second day, third day, some of them even hid in Israel in some place for 4 or 5 days, and suddenly came out of their wherever they were and started opening fire on Israelis. So terrorists are still, maybe even today, on Israeli territory. We have to be very careful these days. And on the other hand, we have started striking terrorists inside the Gaza Strip. Some of them very senior, some of them less, but all of them armed terrorists from the Hamas who have been taken part in the murderous attack last week.
Major Shaliar, did you retrieve the bodies of some of the Israeli hostages in Gaza after the first ground invasion into the northern part? Is this information true?
At this point, I cannot go into details regarding the hostages. What I can say is that we will do everything in our power, really everything, by ourselves and with the help of our friends in the world over their channels, diplomatic channels as well, to make sure that each and every abducted Israeli who right now most probably is being held in some sort of terror tunnels beneath the Gaza Strip, that they will be back in Israel as soon as possible, alive and healthy.
Major Shaliar, one last question. 6 journalists were injured and 1 journalist died. We also have Romanian journalists in Israel now. Could you help us with some recommendations to keep them safe?
Yes, inside Israel, we are in very close contact with, by now, over 1,000 journalists from all over the world. They get regular updates. They know when the sirens go on in the south of Israel to not play. It's dangerous. We warn them. They know there's closed military zones as well where there's intense fire, so we don't let journalists even in. But it's dangerous.